Greetings, travelers. I am Aggelos, and come warm yourself by the fire. Let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, tales of Tamriel. We have another fun show planned for you today. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've actually been on, so I apologize for that. We had some scheduling issues, but we are back, and we are better than ever on this Sunday morning at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. For some people, it may be a little early, but for me, this is about perfect because I'm a morning person. I like mornings. It's pretty awesome. This week, I am joined by the one, the only Arkhaniir Silvershield himself. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. Although, let me fix you with one thing. It's afternoon. It's 4 p.m.
No, you and your crazy time warp can, this is not a dragon break.
It's not my fault that you are living in the past.
No. I do not recognize your dragon break. Go back into your skooma.
Well, let me apologize to everyone, though, in all seriousness, due for the time change, but yeah, eventually I became unable to wake up in the middle of the night, so it's kind of my fault that we had to do the time change, but I hope everyone can forgive us for the Sunday morning stream in North America.
It's all good, and Ark, it was a total champ. I mean, he was waking up at 3-4 in the morning to do the show every week. So I mean, it got a lot, and I'm happy to make the change to accommodate Ark. And I see we got a follow over here, so thank you so much for the follow, Ugg07. Thank you, appreciate that. The other voice you hear, which now can also be on the show due to the time change, the one, the only Nate, aka Misa himself.
Greetings! I'm back. I've been away for a while, but I'm back.
It's great to have you back, buddy. Missed you. I mean, I get to talk to you a lot because we talk outside of the podcast, and you get to show me how overpowered your build is in Legends. So
yeah, which I'm playing as we speak, of course.
Of course. I mean, why wouldn't you? And I mean, at this time, this will be something that we've had a couple requests for as well. So I guess we can go ahead and announce this, that when Nate is going to be on the show, which will be whenever he has the time, which hopefully will be a lot more often now because of the time change. So he'll be able to come on more frequently than before.
Oh yeah.
We're going to do a Elder Scrolls Legends tips section with Nate. Nate will be giving us his expertise because I believe you hit Legend, did you not?
Oh, I've hit Legend several times now. I can get to Legend in about 3 days.
Well then, that's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie there. But I think you sent me a number, like what your number, like 500 or something in the world of terms of player, or lower than that?
No, I was for a while. I was 300 and something.
Okay, 300. Oh, better than what I thought. Even so, that's still impressive based on the Twitch streamers alone. Just on that alone, if you were 300 of the almost 3,000 people streaming it right now, that's pretty impressive, Like,
yeah, I don't know what I am at the moment, because what I tend to do is it resets at the start of every month.
Yes.
And so you start from rank 5, and Legend is it's above rank 1. So you're at the bottom of rank 5, and you go all of 5, all of 4, all of 3, all of 2, all of 1, and then you hit Legend. And I do that at the start. I mean, it's always within the first week. I think this month it was within the first 3 or 4 days, I think. I got to Legends, and that's where you hit 300 or something by the time I did it, and then I move on and play other game modes and things for the rest of the month.
Okay. Right.
Do you sit at home, like when you are in front of your PC and play Legends, or you just have so much time outside of home and you play Legends on your phone all the time?
It's a bit of both. It's usually I'll play it when I'm walking to work. I'll play it on the train between some work stuff. I often play it at lunch. And my wife and I am married now, and I'm sure that'll get mentioned in a bit.
Yep.
She plays, almost as much as me. She's playing it right now. In fact. So we play each other. She plays it a lot. So
very nice.
We play a lot.
It's an easy game to get into, and I was actually going to get ready to stream that instead of ESO but I had to reinstall it on my PC because once it came out on iOS, I'm like, I'm not gonna do it on PC. I always play it on my phone, right? Like that's just what I do, and it works out for me.
Honestly, the phone is the worst experience you can possibly have with Legends. If you can even vaguely justify getting a tablet, an Android or a cheap iPad or something, it is 100 times more comfortable to play that on a bigger screen. It really is. I hate playing it on a phone.
Well, I mean, I have the 6 Plus, so it's the bigger of the phones. I don't really have any issue with it, but I used to play Hearthstone on the phone constantly, so it wasn't anything where I'm like, oh, this is new to me. It just worked out. And like you said, it's easy to play on the go, so some on lunch breaks and things like that. That's what I'm going to hit up. But before we get into our tales, since we mentioned already, I got to give a congratulations to both Nate on his nuptials as well as Lotus of Doom. They both got married between the last episode and now, obviously. So it's been a few weeks. But before we talk about Nate's, Lotus sent a few pictures to Twitter and stuff where he got married, and it was gorgeous because he got married outside. It was autumn, so he, of course, has that beautiful Riften look. So that was great. And Nate sent me a video of his wedding. And you want to tell us a little bit about that one, Nate? Because it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, we decided to when Kate walked down the aisle, she came into a piece of music from Skyrim, The Streets of Whiterun, which is my favorite piece of music in the entire Elder Scrolls history. And it's also one that when the Bethesda organized an orchestral performance of music from Elder Scrolls and predominantly Skyrim in London a few months ago, it was one of the pieces they played live there as well with a full orchestra. And it was just it just worked. It was so perfect. Like, we drew the line sort of beneath one of my other ideas, which was to have a new quest marker made as a hat for me to wear at the front of the altar. So Kate would have to come to me, and instead of saying I do, it's accepting a new quest. And we thought that'd be pretty lame. But having but walking into Elder Scrolls music was just absolutely magnificent. And I sent it over to some of the guys I know at Bethesda, so I know they've seen it. They thought it was awesome too. It was just really nice.
It was definitely a gorgeous ceremony, and I want to say, congratulations, obviously, and
thank you.
I had that on the notes for a while.
Yeah, well, but you could. I think I may have sent you a YouTube video. I'm not sure.
You did, yeah.
But, I'm very happy if you want to embed it in the blog post or something. It's not something we're sharing widely publicly, but for friends and listeners of the show, I'm very happy for them to see it.
Yes, I will actually absolutely do that, because it was definitely something that I think warrants, a little bit of airtime, because it was really, really awesome. So I will definitely get that. Again, I still have it. I'll just look through I'll make you send it to me, because otherwise I'll have to look through my history. And
Oh yeah, I can send you that. Remind me later.
Yeah, I'll remind you, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into our tales for this week, since Nate is, well, I guess we haven't heard from Nate in a long time. We're gonna let Nate go first and tell us what he's been doing in ESO, or all Elder Scrolls related games, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of a break from Elder Scrolls Online, not because of any lack of love for it, but between all the wedding prep and then getting married and then a honeymoon and then a bunch of work stuff and Legends being on the scene, and also the fact that I'm playing through Skyrim Special Edition again, because I tend to play that at this time of year because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Mm-hmm. So I've sort of got Clockwork City and the rest of Morrowind kind of just on pause, waiting for me over the, in the new year probably. But yeah, I've been playing Legends pretty much constantly, hundreds of hours of Legends. I'm playing it right now, and if anyone wants to add me as a friend and play with me, to my knowledge, you've only played me once.
Yes.
Which is deeply disappointing.
I know. It's mostly because I'm absolutely terrified, to be honest. you keep sending me all these screenshots. I'm just like, oh dear heaven.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, the thing is, I mean, there are so many different types of decks, and there are so many different ways to play and to lose that, you know, I lose plenty of games. It's just that I win more than I lose. And so when you play a lot and you win more than you lose, you tend to get quite high, quite quickly. But you know, that's been the sort of the primary thing I've been doing in Elder Scrolls. Although I tell you what, I did do. I bought a copy of the Infernal City. You know, the
book.
What's the guy's name? Yeah, Greg. Is it Greg?
Greg Keys. Greg Keys. I think.
Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realised I'd never read either of those two books, so I bought a copy, and that's going to be my December reading. I'm going to have a couple of weeks off work. It's my birthday in December as well, so I'm planning on spending some time reading that too. So, yeah, I think that's probably a summary of the last couple of months. And one thing I should say is the week before I got married, which was in October, I spent the entire week up to the wedding in the wedding dress in Elder Scrolls Online, which is mostly in PvP, because that's mostly what I was doing, ahead of the wedding. But I said to the guys in my guild, I was like, I'm going to wear a wedding dress all week. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm wearing the dress, and that's the end of it. No
Very
complaints.
Nice. I see we have a question in chat from Jank. That add-on that you're seeing is called Dressing Room. It does a couple things, which is why I have it. It allows you to set up bars for, you know, as you can see right here, I have bars set up with different skills, small solo group PvE. It also allows you to save gear sets. So, like, if I have something for raid group PvE and I have a different raid set, I can hit the button and it auto loads. Like here, I'll just to show you, I'm going to just put a bunch of random stuff on my bar that doesn't make any sense. And then when I want to load this group right here, I just hit this button and it automatically puts everything back on the bar the way I wanted it. If I had any gear, such as if I were completely naked, which I don't know if I can do because my inventory is almost empty, but here I'll just remove one item. There we go. Put that in there and then hit the button. It'll automatically load it back in. So it's just a quick way of saving presets for gear and skills. It's really, really good. So if you don't have it, check that out. It's called Dressing Room. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We had questions in chat about add-ons in ESO. And it's a really helpful add-on too. And thank you also for the follow that we just got from Jank. Thank you so much. So Nate, continue.
Yeah, well, I think I was just going to say that if anybody wants to add me or play or what have you, then you can add me. I am Lanxon101, Lanxon1, the number 1, the number 0, the number 1. Aggelos can probably put it in the show notes or something. And
I will do that.
And feel free to add me, and we'll play. Or if you have any questions about the game or tips or what have you, I'm always very, very happy to answer those via Twitter or anything else.
There you go. Awesome. I guess that would be it for your tales for this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Was there, just for the fun of it, was there any particular win that you had which was insanely devastating to the other person that you would like to say? Because
yeah, I mean, my favorite way to win and certainly I've done this a few times, is you have 4 cards in the right lane of your own and 4 cards of an enemy. And on this particular game that I've got a screenshot of, the enemy's lane was full. I think my lane was almost full. I had a creature with about 8 or 9 health, but it had Drain, Lethal, and Breakthrough applied to it. I then hit that with the Unstoppable Rage card, which deals a creature's damage to all other creatures, including your own, in a lane. But with that, it also carries any of the keywords. So it took with it Lethal, Breakthrough, and Drain. So it meant that all other creatures died. All creatures gave me 8 health, and all of them broke through to hit the enemy face, which means I gained about 30, 40 health, annihilated the enemy, and sent about 30 odd damage or something to the face in one hit. So I've done that a few times. It's my favorite way to win a game.
See, I just launched the game on my phone to challenge Nate. I'm looking at his name right now, but now I'm not sure.
Now I'm not sure I want to do this.
Yeah, you do it. I'm in an arena match at the moment, but as soon as it says I'm out, I'll wait and I'll challenge you, or you challenge me.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Oh, well, I'm glad to see that you have a real brave face there, Ark. Good job. I hope all goes well for you.
Yeah, us Nords, proper tank Nords, don't run from a fight act. I don't know about Sexplars, but us proper Nords, we fight.
Yeah, I bring the Sexplar into Legends. Let's see how sexy that is.
Yeah, Legends can't handle the awesomeness that is the Sexplar. So, I mean, it does the best it can, but it's limited. So, Nice. And hello, chat room. Obviously, we had a couple people in there, but I see we got quite a few people in there now. So, hello. Shout out to, I see Kit the Traveler there. If you are at all interested in Guild Wars 2, she is an amazing resource to follow. Awesome person. She's been on one of our shows before. She's very personable. Awesome person. So check her out. Kit the Traveler, Twitter, all those, I think Twitch, obviously. And she does a couple podcasts as well. So shout out to fellow podcasters, obviously. All right, Ark, how about you, buddy?
So I don't have much tales for Elder Scrolls for this past couple of weeks because I've been playing different games and I got a new job, full-time job, which I'm starting tomorrow. So I've been dealing with that and things like that. So I don't have much news, but I have some things to talk about Battlegrounds.
Okay.
Remember how I always said I hated relic capture, right? Because some Mag Sork, could bolt escape into it and just keep running with his major expedition.
Yep.
Now they can't do that because they changed relic grab to a channeling action. So now I can just bash people when they're trying to grab the relic. I can just bash them, which made my tank build in Battlegrounds a viable build. At least for the relic grab, because obviously in deathmatch it doesn't do much. But in relic capture, I can just stand in the middle of the relic and bash all 4 people trying to grab it all the time. It works. I can finally defend the relic, and it's an amazing feeling. Just standing there, bashing people forever. It works. That said, I came up with a new build just for this purpose. It doesn't work as a tank 1 versus 1, but when you are going 8 versus 1, it's much more effective because I decided to use the live wire set from Clockwork City DLC, which upon getting hit releases some charge or whatever and heals you upon the damage dealt. And it does this very occasionally, very frequently. So when I'm going 8 versus 1, I combine this with reactive armor, 1-piece Chudan, although I haven't tested the monster pieces because obviously they don't drop for me. So 1-piece Chudan and 1-piece Domi House, and 5-piece reactive and live wire, and I can just stand there between 2 groups, since Battlegrounds a 3-way battle. I can just stand in between 2 groups and just tank all the way until at least my team arrives. So yeah, that's what I've been mainly doing in Elder Scrolls Online, what I did, at least. But yeah, Relic Grab is a channeling action, and that's my favorite thing that happened to ESO in the past month, I guess.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, that's about it.
No, it makes sense, because that was not a fun game type because of how the Mage Sorks were able to, I guess, exploit they're exploiting one of their natural abilities to make it so that no one else can do that. So yeah, I agree. It kind of sucks. Okay, as for my tales, I do have a couple, because obviously if you're watching the stream right now, which I know a couple people are, I am sneaking around being a serial killer because, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing Dark Brotherhood. And I have been for a while because, and I just got caught by a guard. But I'm going to use Clemency because I have that.
How do you find it? How do you find the dailies compared to Thieves Guild?
I actually really enjoy these dailies.
Yeah,
they're a little shorter. The Thieves Guild dailies were interesting because you'd have to go out and you'd have to steal a bunch of stuff, which it was very much you could do whatever it was that you wanted to do, run around, steal different items, different specific items, which was completely random. It's like, steal from, steal household items. So you actually, if you knew about the loot tables, the different people that you can steal from, the NPCs, they carry items that would be what they would use in daily life. So if you're at home, like in a house or whatever, and like the housewife is there, she may actually have utensils. But if you steal from a bard, you'll likely steal musician type items, which is actually really cool. Like, that's just something in my eyes that it adds to immersion. Some people probably wouldn't think too much about it, but to me, I'm like, well, that's really awesome, right? But they often were very long and drawn out because you had to get like 10 of a various item or 3 of a specific. But the specific was RNG based. You had to find the right target to steal from and then just hope that the RNG gods gave you what you wanted. It just took forever. The Dark Brotherhood ones are simple. They're like, here's a person that we don't like, go kill him.
Kill it.
Yeah. And
I agree. I've never been a massive fan of the sneaky implementation in Elder Scrolls Online. I preferred it in Skyrim. But in ESO, I can't work out why I don't enjoy it, because I do enjoy it in in the others. But
I mean, you still have to sneak for the Dark Brotherhood in order to do Blade of Woe, but you don't even have to use Blade of Woe if you don't want to. If you wanted to, you can literally go into town, your sword brandished, and go, "Come at me, bro," and the entire town will come at you, and you will rack up quite a bounty. But if you don't care, you can do that. But I mean, I think it's because it's one target. It gives me more of a focused approach to this. You know what I mean? Because when it's 10 targets, you just have to find any NPC that's lootable, right? That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But with this one, you're walking around town. It kind of reminds me of almost like Assassin's Creed-ish, if you will, where I have one target and I'm trying to blend in with the crowd and watching this one guy as he's doing his daily routine and trying to find the optimal time to stab him in the face. So yeah, I actually really am enjoying these dailies versus the other ones. Now, the only thing that I will say that's kind of a complaint is that there's not really a variety of different things to do for dailies. Like, yeah, there were only like 2 dailies you could do for Thieves Guild, but you had the choice of doing the instanced heist, which were fun. A little long for dailies, you know what I mean? It's not something that's like, oh, great, I want to do this every day.
Yeah, they're too long.
But they were fun. If you have the time to sit down, by all means. And I'm not, if you know me, I'm one of these guys who advocate longer goals in MMOs. So it's not like I'm like, oh, it has to be instant. But there are certain times where, you make that decision of, I'm just trying to get these done before I have to go to work, or I have time to actually enjoy myself and do the heist. But the Dark Brotherhood, they only have the kill quests, which are fun. They can be quick, unless you have one of those annoying guys who, for some odd reason, always patrols where there's 50 other people, and it's not 50 other people that you can kill. It's like, oh, I'm going to walk with these guards, which you can't kill. It's like, but still, I feel like there could be more variety. But then in Dark Brotherhood, I don't know what else you would do other than kill quest, right? Unless there was, I think it'd be more
for information, probably.
What was that?
Yeah. Torture for information.
Yeah. Or something else that would be kind of neat is offering multiple ways to facilitate the murder. I know they said we don't care how you do it, and when they say we don't care how you do it, they often mean, I don't care if you use Blade of Woe, if you stab him in the face or shoot him with an arrow, whatever you got to do. But it would be kind of neat if there was a more subtle way, like a quest of, the Lord's always surrounded by guards. You can't kill him. He's immune or whatever. So how do you have to kill him? You have to poison his wine cup. So it's sneaking into the kitchen and like lacing his wine with poison or whatever.
Yeah, and that feels similar to how to how the Thieves Guild was to a certain extent. Wasn't there one storyline where you do have to poison somebody? You have to sneak something into a drink. Maybe
Yes,
I'm confusing that with another quest line, but I'm pretty sure there was one.
No, there definitely is. I think that would be interesting as a alternative to just, if they wanted to do two different quests, do the normal kill quest, or even adding an option if I was ever so inclined, and maybe for a bonus, right? You can kill him, but you may get a bonus reward if you do it. Think of Skyrim, the wedding in the Dark Brotherhood. You have the choice of, I could just run up and kill her, or I can make it look like an accident by making like the castle fall on top of her, right?
I always do the accident.
Yeah, I always do the accident as well, because it's just something that's really fascinating. But there was an option, and I think if they would have added a Dark Brotherhood quest where there was an option of how to do things, I think that would be really neat. Like you could kill him, or optional, you can make it look like an accident. So how do you do that? Using some environmental world building, I think would be a nice way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, if I was in a hurry, I could just run up and stab him in the face. I don't have to do the accident, but maybe there's that extra, like I said, that extra reward for doing it the accident way. So, all right, I want that extra loot bag today. So I'm going to take the extra time and, make it look the way it's supposed to look. Personal thought, I mean, again, I still prefer these dailies over the other ones from Thieves Guild. Because Thieves Guild, for some reason, I could not get into Thieves Guild. I am enjoying Dark Brotherhood a lot more than I am Thieves Guild. Because I'm not really, even though I'm stealing right now, so for anyone actually watching the stream right now, I'm actually stealing a lot, which is more than what I normally do, but I need some money, so. I'll
be very interested in hearing what you think to the end of the quest line. There's one of my favorites. There's a subplot which I won't go into because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But there's a really interesting subplot I find between two of the characters, which I enjoyed a great deal.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Like I said, I only did the very first quest right now. I actually can pick up the next one, but I haven't yet. I'm really not sure why, other than the fact that I know I'm going to eventually be... Oh, cool, I actually leveled up. Oh, that's neat. I know I'm going to be locked at some point, like how Thieves Guild was. Now, Thieves Guild was interesting because I still got points for stealing, right? Like, you didn't have to do dailies for Thieves Guild. You could just steal and it leveled. The thing that I noticed, which is really annoying with Dark Brotherhood, is I would think that you would get a little bit of experience for using Blade of Woe on people. You don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that makes it very hard outside of dailies to actually advance the line, which, because when I did Thieves Guild, when I actually sat down to do Thieves Guild, I was pretty much ready to go, I didn't have to do anything. I was already max level Thieves Guild before I even started the first quest. So it was just boom, 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 boom. But you don't have that in here, and it's because you can't skip ahead, so to speak. And I find that to be kind of a miss. I think they could have done more with that. Let's see what else I got here. I got some fun stuff. I was walking around as per what I normally do, because one of the best parts about ESO is the world itself, right? We've already talked about the world. The world is one of the things that keeps me interested in this game, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm walking around and I'm talking to all the people, even though I don't really have a quest. I think they said go introduce yourself to all the various people. So I was walking around doing just that, saying, hey, I'm new to the Dark Brotherhood. And I think I found the new love of my life. Her name is Maribel Montier, and she's in the sanctuary, and she is a dirty bird. I mean, she has me, as I have quoted here, she has me scare-roused. Because she's kind of scare-roused, because she's kind of like, she's like a psychopath, but yet she's insanely flirty and kind of like, I wish I could remember all the lines she had, but she's sitting there going, oh, come on, sweet. Like, if you give us a little bit more time, maybe then we could get to know each other in a more intimate way. Like all these dirty little lines here. And I'm like, okay. It's just, yeah, she has me scare-roused, and I think I love her. Like, I know this is probably going to be very negative, and we'll probably get like 1-star reviews on iTunes for this. Nate may actually leave the show. I think I like her more than
Don't say it.
Yeah, you know who
Naru,
yeah.
I
honestly think that I like Maribel.
I'm leaving.
Yep.
I'm leaving. I'm gone.
I'm done with this show.
See, just as I got defeated by Nate on Legends,
Yep.
you said that, and it's like combo.
The crushing weight is just there. Yeah.
Well played, though, man. By the way, very good game.
I almost got it if I played a bit more carefully.
I know. I'm telling you though, guys. Like, I honestly think I love this girl more than I like Naru, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, but
I tell you what, I can understand it, and here's why. In the Craglorn questline, you met a wood elf called Little Leaf.
Oh, I love Little Leaf.
And Little Leaf is awesome. And if anybody was going to take over from Naru in terms of the objects of sort of not affection as such, but just general love of, it would probably be Little Leaf.
I do love Little Leaf.
She's a badass.
Yeah, you are right. Like, Little Leaf is definitely one of those that she does hold a very special place in my heart as well. I do love Little Leaf. And I think I even said that when I was going through that quest line, going how much I love Little Leaf. So yeah, I definitely agree. Little Leaf is a winner in my book. But I'm gonna before the end of this, I'm running around here. I actually have to go back to the caravan or the Dark Brotherhood hold anyway. So I'm going to talk to her for everyone so they get to experience the amazingness that is Maribel Montier. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for the negative reviews to come in. Like, people are gonna, this video on YouTube is going to be downvoted to oblivion. Like, so much so that we're going to be marked as advertiser unfriendly because they think we're, I don't know, some jihadist or whatever, and they're just like, nope. Obviously, with the amount of downvotes, they must be spouting hate speech, which some of you may assume that's what it is. Because I came out against Naru. But yeah, no, I love this girl. She's just like, it's wrong the amount of love that I have for this girl, but I do, because she's just that freaking awesome. So I did complete the very first quest for the Dark Brotherhood, which was obviously very cool. But I just got started, so like I'm really at the beginning. Ran into my old friend Crafty Larissa, who had me help her save her sister from a murderous cult. Which, by the way, I have a little complaint about that, because so I'm trying to help her sister from this cult, the Order of the Hourglass, and they're run by like a fanatic, and her sister doesn't see it, right? So for some odd reason, and in my head, Crafty Larissa is talking to me like we're old friends, which I love Crafty Larissa, but they didn't take into account what happened in your personal story when you went through the main storyline. Because for those who don't know, you meet them in not Balfourian, it's the Daggerfall zone.
Stross Mackay.
Stros Makai, you meet her there, but it follows to, what is the name? The Orc Island. Oh, I'm going to pull it up here on the map.
Balkarth? No.
No, it's not Belkarth because that's the other one. Betnik. Bet, Nikh. And something happens there that you have to make a decision on who gets to keep an artifact, right? Some people want to use it, some people want to destroy it. I think that's go. But whoever you choose, the other side hates you. And I chose the one side that did not side with Crafty Larissa. Because I think she wanted to use the artifact or something like that. And so she hated me because she's like pretty much like I've doomed her sister who's in the army to die now. I can go rot in a fire. Oblivion take me. So she pretty much hated me. And throughout the main storyline, the main story of Glenumbra, when you do run across her, she does treat you very coldly. But when you meet her here, she treats you pretty nice. And I'm like, I feel like it's just a little bit of a missed opportunity there because they didn't take into the account of our previous interactions. I think it would have been a nice little nod if she would have been like, all right, you screwed me over once before. I don't really trust you, but I have no other choice. Right? Because she didn't like me for so long. But now she treats us like we're old friends. Even though she's treating me like crap the entire way through. So that...
Does ESO actually keep track of your previous interactions with some NPCs at least? Yes,
some of them, because I think in one of the main storylines with Razum Dar, he refers to a certain choice you can make.
Yep. You can actually say it too if you want to give a spoiler. You can, but I think
just for those people who haven't played it yet. But
right.
But whether you doomed him or not, let's say, he refers to that, and I believe there's one. I think in the Morrowind expansion, if you've interacted with Naryu in her quest in the main game. And I think it's Deshaan, isn't it? Is it Deshaan?
Yes, she shows up in Deshaan.
Yeah, then she refers to you as someone she's met before, not as somebody who's brand new.
Yes.
See, I wonder how that interaction goes if you haven't done the quest with Naryu in Ebonarch Pact storyline.
She just treats you like your first meeting. Because I have done, like I said, I've done it on the starter quest anyway, where you first meet her on a new character, and she talks to me like I just got off the boat, essentially, like when I made a warden. But if you have played the Deshaan, she does make mention of, glad you could help me back in Deshaan. Maybe you can help me again, kind of. So they have done it in the past. I honestly think this is just an oversight by the developers.
Probably.
They didn't think much about it. And I mean, honestly, with how intricate this game is, like, because it is, all of us know it. For my gripes for the game, which are purely based on their monetization policies, the game itself is a masterpiece. Like, they're just really good. So I can never complain about the game for having bad gameplay, because it doesn't. It's and I think it was just a missed opportunity, which it's sad that it happened, but it kind of makes sense. All right, so let's see. There she is. I'm actually going to turn on sound here for people, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to see if I can talk to her.
Stream as well.
All right, so here's my girl.
This is an absolute insult to Simbar.
Ooh.
The oldest Dara would never send other assassins to finish a job unless she knew the assassin had failed. We haven't even heard back from Simbar yet. But I shouldn't question the matron.
What do you mean?
Killing the Grand Sermonizer is Simbar's current contract. There's no reason to believe he won't complete the job. This paranoia, it doesn't suit us. We're better than this. It's true that removing the Grand Sermonizer would send a crucial message. The public needs to know that the loss of a few assassins does nothing to diminish us. Just follow the matron's order.
Now, let me see if I can talk to her again. Oh, see, that's kind of a shame, because now, because of the quest that I'm on, she's not actually as flirty as she was. But
now I do remember who she is, though.
yeah, because when you first meet her, she's like laying. Let me see if I can lay down. I'm asleep, maybe.
Try sit 4. I think I know what you're trying to do. It's one of the sit ones, I think.
Let me see, sit 4.
4 or 3, maybe.
Yes, pretty much just like that is when you meet her. She's on the bed, just like leaning back and like in this little seductive pose. And apparently her husband is one of these guys. Which one is he? Is he over here? And it's not Green Venom. Oh, I can't find him. He must be moved because of the quest. He's normally like standing right over here. And he's like, whatever, they're together. So he's like kind of this super jealous guy, but she's over here flirting like, we could sneak off whenever what's-his-face is gone. It's just like, oh. Sorry, folks. I thought she would have her other question, but because of I advanced the storyline past the introduction, she's not as super flirty. But I'm actually really excited to see when that quest line goes on. Because she's one of those really flirty characters, like the entire time. Like you'll go take someone out and she'll just be sitting there like looking at you going, I like your form, among other things, like, oh, okay, all right. So again, she has me scare aroused because she's sexy and she could stab me in the face. Kind of like how Naru does it, but Yeah.
Naru beats with the accent. Like Naru's voice actress, whoever she is, the accent is amazing, so that's kind of why she's better than Mirabelle. Then again, Naru is Morak Tong, which I hate. Well, I don't hate. Basically, I don't know much about it. While the Mirabelle is Dark Brotherhood, and it obviously hails to this.
Hails to this, yeah.
So there's a point there. I don't know.
I feel bad because I feel like I'm doing her an injustice because seriously, her voice acting in the very beginning when you first introduce yourself to her is pretty top notch. And like I said, she's that same level of flirty, like when Naru's trying to seduce that guard into coming in, with the wine, if you remember that quest in Deshawn where she tries to get the guy up into her room. Oh, she's that same level of flirty the entire way, but she keeps it going. Like,
You know what's funny about Naru is she's got a British accent, but the voice actress is American.
Huh.
She's just got a very good...
See, I wish I could do accents. That would have been very fun.
You do have an accent. Just saying.
No, but I wish I could do different accents than voice actors do.
Yeah.
One moment you are Scottish, one moment you are British. That would have been fun.
Well, you're British if you are Scottish. Although if you ask a Scot that, they'll
tell you absolutely not.
But if you're from, Northern Ireland or Wales or England or Scotland, you're British. That's why it's always funny when people say British accent.
They have distinctive accents, though.
Yeah.
Like you can.
But the woman who voiced Naru, I think she voices another character. There's another Dunmer. I don't know who it is, but I think she voices two.
I could see that. But I really like the Maribel. She's really good. Anyway, a couple people in chat. Kimundi says the best waifu in ESO is Elfbeta the Shy. I don't think I even know who that is. And thank you SDTLC for the follow. I have to look up this other person. And Weedmar says, "Why the heck are you taping at 6 a.m. now? I got to stay awake and not go back to sleep."
Do you know who the best waifu is? Just going back to that first one, I'm posting a link in the Twitch. Oh, I can't. I'm not logged in for some reason. I'm going to send this to Ark or to Aggelos in the chat so you can see it. I wrote this article for Wired a few years ago about the weird wives of Skyrim.
Yep.
And that is my favorite wife in the whole game because that wedding day was just crazy. I almost said a very rude word there, but it was crazy. You should link to the old story. It's still live on the Wired website.
We posted it in Twitch chat, and it's I've read that already, which is really funny that you bring that up. because I have seen that already in the past, and it's really good. I really like it. Anyway, yeah. All right. Oh, back to my story with Crafty Larissa. So, in order for us to actually find out what's going on, right? She says, well, I need you to go out and spout all this blasphemous stuff about Boethia, right? Because these are all devout Akatosh followers, kind of like zealot Akatosh followers, but, you know, they are what they are. And so I'm like, okay, sure, I can do this, right? And so I'm out there, so I get caught. So they're trying to figure out whether or not I should be, like, killed or whatever. And I'm all tied up, and this is her plan. And all of a sudden, she shows up because the High Inquisitor's like, this guy is awful. We're going to, like, behead him and burn him and dip him in oil and all this stuff. And the sister obviously goes, isn't that a little bit harsh? You know, like, yeah, shouldn't we try to convert? So she realizes, what is this now? Frozen Retreat? I have no idea what this is. Oh, it must be a holiday thing. I have no idea. Anyway, so we go and she's like, wow, this is nuts. So she runs off. So the sister runs after her, right? And I'm thinking, okay, great. But they left me tied up, like in the room. I'm like sitting there, and all of a sudden at the end, it's like, oh, I'm glad to see you made it out. I'm like, yeah, weren't you supposed to, you know, untie me and not leave me to the will of the guy who wants to stab me in the face? Like, it was all a ploy to get your sister out, which we did. And now you're saying what? Like, I just thought it was funny because at the end of it, she throws a smoke bomb to escape as her sister runs down the hallway, and then the screen fades out while I'm still tied to a post. And I'm sitting there going, they just left me. They just left me in here.
See what? Here's the thing. You wanted her to be angry because of your decision in Bednik. There you go. She left you.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Maybe that's what it was. She had her agenda. She got what she wanted, and she's like, "Good riddance," you know. Wow, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. I
don't think they actually made it that way, but if they did, if they did, Zasser like deserves an extra point for that. If that's actually why she left you there.
It would be funny if somebody who actually sided with her did it and she unties you, because I think that would be a no. I think it was just like a, you know, because the screen fades to black and all of a sudden you're back out in the Gold Coast, and it's like, oh, you escaped, you know. It's like, yeah, no thanks to you, then you left me. But yeah, I thought that was really, really funny that that's what they did. Like, they just leave you there, and I'm sitting there like tied to this post awaiting execution, and she runs out. I'm like, great, now they're even more ticked off because, you know, this lady causes a ruckus during their judgment, and they lose a follower, but they still have the person they're judging tied up. Now there's no leniency for me whatsoever. And last note I have here is that I really, really love the Order of the Hourglass armor, because you actually run into one of the lieutenants of the Chief Inquisitor or whatever his name is, and she kind of threatens you at the very beginning, saying, hey, you know, you better stop what you're doing, and you actually end up killing her during that quest because she tries to attack you later on. But her armor's fantastic, and I love it, so I guess that's the end of our tales for this week. So there we go. Let's see. Before we move on to the news section, I do have to give a special shout out to two new patrons of ours over at patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. That is Dan Johnson and Ian Mance. Thank you so much, guys. If you want to support us, obviously that is one of the best ways to do it. For as little as $1 a month over there, you get all of our episodes up to a day early. And there's some other awards for higher tiers and things like that. But yeah, it definitely helps us with continuing to run the show, paying for server costs and all that fun stuff, as well as new hardware and new software and stuff like that. So you help us continue to make the shows that you enjoy. It really is awesome, and we really do appreciate it. It's fantastic. So thank you so much to Dan Johnson and Ian Mance, as well as the plethora of the rest of our followers who have been with us forever. We're actually nearing to the point where I have to look at this. People have continuously been supporting us for over a year now. There's been a couple people who have been supporting us every month over month for over a year, and that just baffles me. So we really do appreciate that. And as much as we appreciate our new patrons, our supporting guys who are there every single month, you guys are amazing. So thank you so much. All right, it's time for the news. So Arkhaniir, what do we got on the docket today?
All right, so we had some news that we have to discard because we haven't been able to do the show for a couple of weeks, but we got some new stuff. I'm going to start with the November showcase, Crown Store showcase, which is almost over, but there is one item that has not yet made its way into the Crown Store, and that is the most ugly Guar I have ever seen, Skyfire Guar. It will be available from November 30 to December 6.
Okay.
I don't even know what this is. Red and blue. Like red and bright blue. This some weird Guar. But I guess people like it. I don't know. I don't know why you guys like Guars in the first place, so it's up to you. There's also one thing in this that I will mention just to trigger you, Ag.
Okay, I'm ready.
It says, under the section of removal of existing Crown Store items, which they've been doing, it's not news, but here's the exact wording. In order to make room for new stock, the following items will be retired from Crown Store.
I hate that.
There's no room. It's a line in a freaking database. What they're doing is anti-consumer. It's an anti-consumer tactic to create artificial scarcity. Here's the thing with digital goods. There's no such thing as artificial scarcity because it's freaking digital. You create that to create demand. That's what this is.
It's
disingenuous to say that. You're not making new room. It doesn't matter. What is the size? Like, seriously, what is the exact file size for one line of code? You know, like, because the code's not gone. It's still in the game because anyone who bought it, it still has to be part of the game. They're not removing it from the game files because it still exists for anyone who bought it. Oh,
yep.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Did you enjoy that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's the revenge for all the tanking like teases you made at the beginning of the shows.
Now, Nate, I mean, you're a tech background guy too. Like, does that not infuriate you? Like, the wording of it it's just disingenuous. It's not true. What are they making room for?
It's lazy writing at best. It's a lie at worst. But I think that the one area that they do have to make room for is just how these objects are displayed on a screen. Because the more you have to scroll through a page of objects, the more choice there is, the harder it is to single out which one you want.
But
maybe they're not talking about server space room as much as room in the UI.
I guess, but I mean, honestly, okay. In my eyes, I pull up the Crown Store right now. In my eyes, right, if you walk into a store and they have 3 things on the shelf, yeah, it does limit, it brings your eyes right there, but it also makes me think, wow, there's not a whole lot there. And we know every month they bombard us with these Crown Store showcases where they add multiple stuff, but they added, there's 900 different subsections here. You got your specials, crown crates, DLCs, quest starters, upgrades, utility, houses, furniture, wardrobe, dyes, mounts, non-combat pets. So you're already limiting it down. And then they also have this little thing called show all of what you have purchased and what you don't. So if I just want to see what I have not purchased, which is sadly a lot of things, you can now see this, right? Like, there's already filters for seeing what you want. I don't see why they need to clean it up more because they've already have 900 different filters. Like, it doesn't make sense to me you know,
No,
like
I'm with you. I'm with you there. I'm not disagreeing. I think it's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I mean, because here's the thing. Like, one of the things they keep trying to do is encourage you to sub to ESO Plus, which I'm feeling the pain right now because my sub lapsed. And now I don't have my craft bags, but I spent so much on Christmas that I'm not willing to actually... I need to pay off some bills first. But before I can resub, but I'm feeling the pain. But one of the things that they try to do is they try to do the gradual accrual of points, right, to get these items. Why would they take it away? Like, maybe it's something that I what they're trying to do is they're trying to make you buy more items or more, buy outside of just the ESO sub. They want you to also surplus with extra crowns as well. But it's like, I already have the stipend they give me. If they wouldn't remove things from the store, maybe I'll pick up that thing when my next month comes in, right? But if they're going to remove it, then that just removes that. Because you're right. I maybe I didn't buy it when I had it, but if I have all these extra crowns, I'm sitting there looking at it going, what can I buy? I didn't buy this one thing, the Yakuten charger, for instance. I didn't buy it before, but now I have these extra crowns. I'll get it, and now I have this extra income in. I'm going to buy crowns and do this. But when you remove these items, it just leaves a bad taste in the customer's mouth. Yeah, you may have a few people who impulse buy, like I did, right? Like, because I would buy crowns when new stuff came in because it was limited time. But you know what you did? You drove away a customer. I'm not buying any crowns, period, anymore. Like, it's just not what I'm doing. I'm taking a stand against their crown store completely because I think it's predatory. So yeah. I
guess it does work in a sense, though, since I ended up buying that limited time Reachman horse, witch horse, whatever, the white armored horse.
Oh, well, it does work for a couple people.
Because I didn't have my Yokudan charger.
Well, yeah, I guess that's...
If I had my Yokudan charger, I wouldn't have bought the limited time horse, but I didn't have it, so I got the next best thing that I found.
I bought the... when the... was it the Morrowind expansion? I can't remember. No, recently they released a Dwemer mount.
Yeah.
For about 5,000 crowns, and I bought one of those.
Yeah, I know I have one of them too. I just don't remember which one it is that I actually bought. But no, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, there are some things that once upon a time I would spend those large amounts of crowns on, but it just... things like this really annoy me. Anyway, sorry for the rant, guys. We'll continue with the news.
All right.
Blame Mark. He triggered me.
Successfully did so.
Yeah.
The next bit of news is Flame Atronach crates are coming. Let me see if there's a date that I can see. Well, with the December, obviously. I mean,
yeah,
it's just arriving, and well, obviously they
actually,
just Flame Atronach themed.
Hold
crates.
on. Let me pull up the Crown store. Let me pull up the crates because they normally have 2 days left on the Reaper's Harvest. So this is 2 days as of the 26th of November. So with 2 days left, that pretty much means that on the 28th or 29th, depending on when the flip is, the Reaper's Harvest crates will be gone, and we will get the next things on the list. So that would either be Monday or Tuesday of this coming week. So when you're listening to this on probably Monday morning or Tuesday morning, the new crates will be available.
Yeah. That's it. They're again giving free crown crates, but that started last Friday and ends today. So if you're listening this live, you can go ahead, log in, and kill one mob, like a wolf or something, and you can still get one free crown crate, but you probably won't. By the time this show goes as recorded version, it will be over, and the free crates will arrive on Tuesday, November 28th.
Right. And as a note, if you are not part of our community Discord, maybe you should join. head over to dungeoncrawlernetwork.com, and there is a button right on the front page that say Join Discord, because we announced this the day as soon as the article came in our Elder Scrolls Online chat. So we'll keep you abreast there of news, even if it's just, hey, this is happening, so keep it up. So if you want to join an awesome community, I definitely encourage you to join the DCN Discord because, well, we're awesome, right? I might be biased, but I had to say it. And I'll actually post a link in chat, which I'm going to do that right now in Twitch chat. If anyone is not a part of our community, I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys as soon as this thing works. Of course, it's going to be stupid. So I will post that in a second. All right, Ark.
The other thing is there is a Crown Store bundle, which is about Black Friday, so it's a bundle. It will be over on Monday. You can actually bring that up on Twitch, I think, because it should be in the Crown Store. I don't know what it contains, really.
Oops. Dude, get away from me. I accidentally hit Crown Crates, and that Khajiit kept on my screen.
Oh, actually, I found what
there it
is.
Contained. It includes the Tuxedo Bear Mount, 10 experience scrolls, 10 riding lessons, 10 capacity lessons, and 10 fortifying meals, 10 soul gems, and 50 tri-restoration potions. This is for 1,900 crowns, contains 6 items. The bear alone is probably worth it if you don't have
Plus
the bear.
The experience scrolls.
Yeah, the experience scrolls are probably not too bad.
Also, the riding lessons aren't too bad if you frequently make new characters.
Yes.
Because that is annoying. Like, you have champion point 690 character, but it rides slower than running speed, so it's kind of an annoying thing. So yeah, I guess it's a good value if you are planning to start a new character.
If it was in a pack like this, I agree. Because you're getting the bear mount, and the bear mount is the majority of the cost, right? So yeah, like if the bear was, when it was released, I think the bear was probably 2,500. So this is actually a deal on what the bear actually was before, and you get all these other items. I would never buy these by themselves, because it's only 250 gold or something like that. No, it's not even that much to do a riding lesson a day. Yes, it's kind of time limited, but why would you waste the real money when in reality it doesn't take you that? I mean, it takes a little while, but it just seems stupid to me. Like, get the money, put it on your character, and then just, do the every day, just see the guy and focus on the stuff that's important first. Ride speed and then capacity, Like, you can manipulate your way around. And if you don't play the character that often, put the money on the character and just log in every day, and there you go. Then you'll be able to, do what you need to do.
Still, for people like, if they don't have any interest in cosmetics or housing, and they still sub, they will have this unnecessary amount of crowns in their
I guess,
in their crown store. So if they're not interested in pets or mounts and things like that, they can just spend this on riding lessons, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is there, and some people don't care about cosmetics, like, because I'm a collector, so that's why their crown store specifically hurts me, because of the type of gamer that I am. Like, you're right. Like, this is almost a selfish reason why I hate the crown store, because I am one of those people who, because I have this almost compulsive need to collect things, like I love collecting all the mounts and stuff like that, it does target me. And I can tell you what, I've spent thousands of dollars on this game. So seriously, I added all up, the sub and the extra crowns and stuff. Yeah, and it was an embarrassingly large amount of money. And when I looked at that, I'm like, oh. Yeah, so yeah, that is a thing. But I guess some people don't care about cosmetics at all, mounts at all. They have one that's enough for them. Then yeah, you're right. That I think it's stupid because the value's not there, considering it takes you, how long does it take you to make 250 gold in game? Like
2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah, it doesn't take long. So that's why I'm like, the value's not there. Like, it's just insane how expensive the cost is when it's so easy to actually, do what you need to do. So that's my thought. Anyway, we'll continue on.
All right, so the main news is, if you haven't heard yet, there's some ESO sweeptakes currently happening. It is called 10 million story sweeptakes, and they are giving out 300, as they say, prizes, gifts, whatever.
Yeah.
It has started in November 1 and will be continuing until December 6. Now, what they are giving is, you should see the official website for the official rules. I guess Ag will link it in the description below for the recorded version.
Yep.
What it does, it gives PAX, like a trip to PAX East 2018 with a friend, all stuff covered by ZeniMax or Bethesda, whoever's supporting, whoever's funding this sweeptakes. And then there are prizes like your character being recreated as an NPC in Elder Scrolls Online, custom gaming PC, consoles, Corsair gaming stuff, t-shirts, plushies, and other stuff from Bethesda store. So they are basically giving out 300 prizes. You can, I think, make up to like 7 entries, so that's quite some chance. So yeah, go ahead and join if you are in one. If you are eligible, just it doesn't hurt to do so. And if you like win one of these, it will be either very fun having your character created in ESO, or you'll get some free computers or consoles, which is always nice. So
the bits from Meows. Thank you. She said the other day when I'm playing ESO, she's gonna throw bits at me every time I use Blade of Woe. So I'm like, man, I'm dancing for the pennies. So yeah, she just threw 50 bits at me because I probably killed at least that many people since the stream has started. I've been on a mass murder spree. So yeah, thank you, Meows.
There's also an in-game event that is coming with this whole thing. It will be from November 30 to December 6 again. You complete a random dungeon via the Dungeon Finder, normal or veteran mode, to earn a mysterious reward box. This cache could contain loads of awesome in-game rewards, consumables, pets, costumes, and even a massive collection of super rare mounts and houses. You can obtain a mysterious reward box once per day per character. So if you have 12 characters on your account, and if you are willing to spend that time, you can get 12 boxes a day, and the event will be going for a week. So I don't know the drop rates, but if you are someone lucky like Aggelos here, you might get some super rare monster houses. If you are someone like me, you'll probably get consumables from all your boxes, but it is what it is.
When is this?
It doesn't hurt to try. What is what?
When is this event?
November 30 to December 6. So November 30 starts at like Thursday, I think.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do this.
Yep.
Well, now I know what game I'm streaming all weekend.
Oh, also, one on each day of the event between November 30 to December 6 that you complete a random dungeon via the Dungeon Finder, you will also be granted one bonus entry into the ESO 10 million story sweeptakes. Up to a maximum of 7 bonus entries. Then again, I'm not eligible to participate in this, but...
do it for the mounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do this on like all my characters now, so...
Yep.
Anyone in our ESO guild, guess what we're doing? There's going to be dungeon events non-stop.
Full week.
Yeah, so get your characters
Too bad
ready.
I only have like one character leveled on each server.
Well, with the auto leveling, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, you won't be very effective.
I guess.
But it's
You
just
guys should
random, so
carry
you
me.
could do normal. So that's
Oh yeah, that as well.
It doesn't have to be vet. It can be normal. It just says a
I'll just
random
get
dungeon.
carried.
Yeah. Well, I have tons of characters. I'm running everything. So Yeah. That's what I'll be doing, guys. So if you feel like watching that, I'll probably be streaming all of those while I'm doing those dungeons on various low level characters. That'll be crazy. So of course, if you want to actually carry me, you're more than welcome. Man, and it also means I should really resub. Damn it. No, I want to. It's just I've already spent tons of money. Well, as Nate, who shout out to his podcast, Text Message. He does a lot of tech related stuff. It's a tech show, and he was talking about the different iPhones and stuff. Well, what was it? The iPhone X is what, $1,000 now, or
the iPhone 10? Yeah, it's 1,000.
Well, I didn't have to buy an iPhone 10, but Thais' phone was finally dying, so I had to get her a Note 8, which even with it being on sale, still ran me about $850. So
that's what Kate uses. She loves it. She adores it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's still $850. It's a lot. But her phone was dying.
But you know what? So I've been writing a review for the iPhone 10 over the last couple of weeks, and the conclusion that I've come to is that yes, these phones are breaking new ground in terms of their expense, but if you think about, say, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, we would buy a standalone digital camera. We might buy a standard video camera or a camcorder. We'd buy a separate GPS for our car. We'd buy an iPod or similar. We'd buy a phone still. That's just 5 devices right there that one phone, like a Galaxy or an iPhone, pulls together and means you no longer have to pay for. So, well, I do think these are it's ridiculous the expense that these things have got to at this point. In terms of the value they provide with historical context, they're actually not terrible.
Right. No, you are correct. Yeah, you are definitely correct. But it still doesn't lessen the blow when you do actually eventually have to buy one.
Oh, no. Hell no. I'm not defending it as saying it's cheap, but just that we're now not at least buying those other things that we might have at some point had to buy as well.
Right. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, we both bought our phones at the exact same time. I'm an Apple fan. I really am. And the main reason why I am is because of the iTunes store, because of how easy, and the games and stuff like that are available that aren't always available on Android. Specifically, I know this is kind of off topic, but it's a gaming show, so we're okay. One of my favorite series is the Final Fantasy series, like the old games, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
And I bought all of them on the iTunes store, right? Like, all the ones that are available. So I spent a couple $100 on that because it was like $20 a game, which, honestly, for the amount of hours of entertainment I got off of it, total deal, right? I switched.
I did the same. I bought them all. I bought all of those games. They're great. Final Fantasy 4 and 6 are still two of my favorite RPGs of all time.
I 100% agree. I can't wait till they put 8 on there. 8 was the game that actually got me in. I shouldn't say got me into, because I bought Morrowind first, but when I was younger, it didn't quite click with me. Final Fantasy 8 was what got me into RPGs like hardcore and what made me fall in love with the genre.
Completely. One of my tattoos is of Squall and Rinoa from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah. Well, they already put 9 on there, so I'm really hoping when they get 8, I'll buy that too. But here's the thing. When I switched over to the Note, because Android had a lot of cool features that Apple didn't, because they locked a lot of stuff down. Like widgets were something that I really, really liked. Now, Apple kind of has that to a limited extent, but I went and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to rebuy it. So I started rebuying it, and when I looked at the reviews for these games, the one thing I noticed was Final Fantasy 1 was like 8 revisions behind the iOS version. Like, it didn't even have like all the bonus stuff, like the Lord of Souls dungeons and anything like that. It was like really far behind, and everything I saw in the reviews was doesn't work on this, crashes on this phone, doesn't. And that's when I really realized, I'm like, there really is such a huge variety of devices and operating systems for Android that it must be a nightmare to make these things compatible for all these different devices. Whereas Apple, because it's so locked down, right? It's easy to be backwards compatible and to continue to write because the phone's the same all the way through. There's no, I have to change the resolution settings for this phone versus this phone versus this phone, because there's not as many. There may be 2 or 3 different variants, but there's not as many as the Android, because Android's this huge open platform.
Here's the thing, though. iOS or Apple makes it so difficult to develop for it. I mean, on Android, at least I'm speaking from mobile game perspective. I don't know about the other apps or anything, but for Android, I can just build the game and just transfer it to my phone or any phone that I want to test it on.
Right. You needed
For iOS, for Apple, you have to create accounts, you have to create other phones' accounts, they have to download, you have to make a provision.
Yes.
It's a whole lot of steps. That is annoying.
From a developer point of view, you are 100% correct. Apple, because of how stringent they are, they do limit. Like you have to have a developer account to upload and things like that. You're right, they do. But they also vet a lot of their stuff. That's why when I had the Note 6, I think it was, I was downloading games that were crashing and causing problems because anyone could upload anything, right? Like, whereas Apple, they at least vet 90% of the stuff that goes on their store, like before they release it to the public. You go to submit a game, it goes through an official review process.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anything on their store that will cause problems. Whereas Android's this Wild West. Yes, it does have that free. Hey, you go out and do whatever you want, but with that comes more risk. Anyway, I know we're off topic, but it's fascinating we talked about that. And I think that's... Oh, we have the Wrothgar event, which is, I guess, is ending soon.
There has been an Orsinium's 2nd year anniversary event going, but it will be over on, let me see. It will be over tomorrow, so if you're listening live, this is your chance to get double rewards from all things Hrothgar, including Maelstrom Arena. So if you want to try for some Master Maelstrom weapons, this is your chance. It will be over tomorrow.
There you go. Get in there tonight. All right, guys. We've reached the end of the news, which means it's time for our favorite part of the show. That's right. The sermon time.
Read.
Yeah, 36 Lessons of Vivec. We are on Sermon 16. I need to get a drink, and I need to get into my my character here. Sad part is I didn't read this ahead of time, which I probably should have. So I have no idea what this is actually going to contain. Oh, okay. All right, this is fun. All right, so 36 Lessons of Vivec, Sermon 16. The Hortator wandered through the morning hold, wrestling with the lessons he had learned. They were slippery in his mind. He could not always keep the words straight and knew that this was a danger. He wondered to find Vivec, his lord and master, the glory of the image of Veloth, and found him of all the places in the temple of false thinking. There, clockwork seers were taking off Vivec's hair. A beggar king had brought his loom and made of the hair an incomplete map of adulthood and death. Nerevar said, "Why are you doing this, my lord?" Vivec said, "To make room for the fire." And the Hortator could see that Vivec was out of sorts, though not because of the impending new power to come. The golden warrior poet has been exercising his water face as well, learned from the Drow before he was born. Nerevar said, "Is this to keep you from the fire?" Vivec said, "It is so that I may see with truth. It and my place, here at the altar of Padhome, in the house of false thinking, serve so that I may see beyond my own secrets. The water face cannot lie. It has come from the ocean, which is too busy to think, much less lie. Moving water resembles truth by its trembling." Nerevar said, "I am afraid to become slipshod in my thinking." Vivec said, "Reach heaven by violence, then." So to quiet his mind, the Hortator chose from the fight racks an axe. He named it and moved on to the first moon. There Nerevar was greeted by the parliament of craters, who knew him by title and resented his presence, for he was to be a ruling king of earth, and this was the lunar realm. They shifted around him in a pattern of entrapment. The moon does not recognize crowns or scepters, they said, nor the representative of kingdoms below, lion or serpent or mathematician. We are the graves of those who have migrated and become ancient countries. We seek no queens or thrones. Your appearance is decidedly solar, which is to say, a liberty of stolen ideas. We are neither tear nor sorrow. Our revolution succeeded in the manner that is written. You are the hortator and unwelcomed here. And so Nerevar carved at the grave ghost until he was out of breath, and their parliament could make no new laws. He said, I am not the slaves that perish. Of the members of parliament, only a few survived the hortator's attack. A surviving creator said, appropriation is nothing new. Everything happens to itself. This motif is by no means unassociated with hero myths. You have not acted with the creative impulse. You have fought below the weight of destiny. You are graves, but not coffins. Know the difference. You have only dug more and supplied no ghosts to reside within. Central to your claims is the predominance of frail events. To be judged by the earth is to sit on a throne of wonder. Why? Damage us more, and you will find naught but the absence of our dead. The ending of the words is Am Savi. Whew!
Nice. You really did get into it this time.
Oh man, that was fun. That was definitely fun. This is actually one of the parables, if you will, about Nerevar ascending to one of the moons of Masa and Secunda and finding beings there that were not part of Nirn and therefore felt themselves to be a part of what he was supposed to be. Like they said, they resented that he is to be a ruling king, that he is to achieve Kaim, if you will, Kaim, whatever you want to call it. And it's one of those parables. It's really hard to decipher. Like, more or less he's saying, yeah, you can kill us, but we will never bow down to your authority. That is the more or less the basis of that. That while you may think you are a ruling king and have power over the earth, you have no power here. Because we are outside the realm of Nirn. We are separate from it. Which, to be honest, this kind of leads back to the idea of the moons of Masa and Secunda being the remnants of Lorkhan. Remember when they tried to destroy the heart of Lorkhan, when Trinimac tried to destroy it, and the heart laughed at them, saying, you cannot destroy me because one was made to satisfy the other. I am bound to the earth. That being the body of Lorkhan, that regardless of what power he may have attained, he has no power over these heavenly bodies because they were created for Mundus, for Nirn, and to destroy one is to destroy the other. You cannot have power over one without having power of the other, and without the power of Lorkhan, which, you could not achieve, you couldn't have that power. You are only a usurper. Whew.
Yep.
Nate, you still there?
I'm still here.
Did you enjoy the reading, my friend?
I do. I mean, I have to say, I always have to confess that I never really feel like I understand any of the sermons whatsoever.
I don't think anyone does. That's why they're so cryptic.
They're so bizarre and so over the top that, I enjoy hearing them, but I definitely don't understand them. With the exception of the one, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, no, maybe a month ago now, the one with all the rather sexual overtones to it,
yes.
Metaphor.
Yeah.
That one is probably the most understandable of all of them, I would say.
And
I don't even try to understand. I just listen and don't even translate it in my mind. It's just jumbles for me.
I've been having a lot of fun reading these. Like, I had a lot of fun reading that one. I thought I put a lot of emphasis on where it needed to be. It read like a sermon, right? But yeah, they are very cryptic. And for those who don't know, these were actually part of a legerum, if you will, by Michael Kirkbride. He is no longer with Bethesda. He left after Morrowind, so his influences aren't really felt in the later games, which is why Morrowind felt so odd, was because he had a hold in it. And if you are ever interested to see the kind of strange things he writes, he's actually also responsible for the group of stories called Coda. So if you've ever want to look that up, that was kind of some people consider it canon, some people don't, because I think it was written after the events of him leaving Bethesda, and I don't even think they specifically say, yes, this is something we, go with, but yeah, he was a strange dude. And you can actually see a lot of the writing, and I made reference to this in a past episode, because he a lot of the stuff for 36 Lessons, because they were written as sermons, you'll notice that terms and things are taken from other religious texts. Like you'll see there are biblical references from the Christian Bible throughout, such as references to the mercy seat, which from when I was looking at that, I don't think I've ever seen that referenced anywhere outside of the Christian Bible, and especially in the way it was being used. There's also references, I believe I've seen someone said that they make at least borrow terms from the Quran as well. So he was creating these, and to give it that flavor, he borrowed a lot of terms, a lot of which are out of context from their original writings, obviously. But he borrowed these terms from these writings in order to kind of lend that religious aspect to the writing. So that's why it does feel very foreign in a lot of cases, because of the way it was written. It was stylized in that way, and a lot of the terms make no sense when you listen to them as they're related to their religious counterparts, but they sound good, So that's where they're used. All right, guys, we've reached the end of the show. Guys, it was pretty awesome. So obviously, Ark, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on anywhere that is Arkhaniir, on Twitter, on Twitch. I also stream regularly, although not much of Elder Scrolls related content, except Morrowind every now and then. But that is twitch.tv/Arkhaniir, ARKHANIIR. Same for the Twitter. If you want to email me, same for the Gmail, arkhaniir@gmail.com. And that's about it.
Right. And Nate.
Yeah. So best for me is at Nate ESO on Twitter. That's my Elder Scrolls focused account, or at Nate Lanxon on Twitter if you want to follow all the stuff I do generally. And there's a lot of tech stuff on there as well. And listen to my podcast, Text Message, which this week, depending on when you listen, there's a chance you may or may not hear Aggelos talking about loot crates. So if you want to hear an interview, a conversation the other way around, then check out episode 114 at techpodcast.uk and hear Ag on there as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I love his show. Like I said, it's a UK focused tech podcast, but it's not just UK. Like I know that's what they market as, but a lot of it is multinational because it's just tech, but they look at it as related to what's happening in the UK. But a lot of it you can use in your everyday. And I mean, you guys haven't done your iPhone review yet because I think you guys are giving it a little bit of time. But I'm really excited to hear about the 10 because I'm not willing to spend $1,000 on it to test it myself. So
I mean, that's coming up. I mean, that's written now. It's basically finished. But it's currently. I'm just having a look here. The word count is where are we? It is 4,500 words.
Oh my goodness!
So it needs trimming, and then it needs recording, which is why we're doing that as a separate episode, because I go into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
A lot of detail. But yeah, I mean, the idea with the whole UK focus stuff is that, I initially thought that it might exclude a lot of listeners outside of the UK, but actually what we find is a huge number of people from outside of the UK like it because A, they don't hear any duplication of stories that they've already heard on either American shows or shows from other countries, but also because we're only talking about stuff that's affecting the UK, it gives particularly American listeners, we find, a lot of context for what's happening in the US. So they can draw parallels between, oh, that's really interesting that it happens like that in Britain versus what they know of happening in the US. So it backfired in a really positive way, the whole UK focus thing, because what I thought would, just appeal to us on this little island actually ended up appealing to a lot of people, but for completely different reasons than I expected. So it's quite nice.
Absolutely. I know you talked about Uber in one of your latest shows, and it was funny that when you brought that up, I was able to draw parallels to some stuff that's specifically happening with Uber here in the United States, that I'm like, it's fascinating to see how other countries are handling some of the issues. Like I know Uber recently got hacked as well, so that was something that they've been dealing with here in the U.S. with some U.S.-based issues. So it's fun to see what other companies are doing outside of just the U.S. bubble. And it is a global thing. Like some of the stuff that I see in the U.K., there's been that, you've mentioned on your show. I don't remember anything specifically, but I know I had an idea here in my head, and I wish I could remember it now. But you had mentioned it that something was happening in the UK, and I'm sitting there going, wait, I just heard that that's up for like a bill here in the US. Like it passed in the UK, but it still hasn't happened in the US. It's still going through litigation. And I'm like, oh, so I got to experience what was going to happen essentially in the US whenever that bill passed. So that was fascinating to hear. So obviously check it out. Text message. Awesome show with Nate and Ian. I got his name right, Ian, right? Okay, and Ian. Two awesome guys, and it's definitely a fun show. It's one of the things I look forward to listen to every week. So if you want to listen to shows that I listen to, text messages on that. So there you go.
Thank you, man. High praise.
Well, Nate's the guy who I go to for all my tech help. So Nate's the guy who helped me with all my podcast things. So he knows his stuff. All right, guys. If you want to follow everything we do, DungeonCrawlerNetwork.com. We have a whole plethora of shows over there. You can check out all of that. Tales of Tamriel, all of our past archives, as well as some of our new shows, our MMO show, the Dungeon Crawlers, as well as From the Ashes, our Ashes of Creation related show that is now a weekly show as well. We do have plans on heading out to PAX East this year, as long as nothing falls through, so we should actually be able to bring you guys some news from PAX, specifically both for this show, Tales of Tamriel, as well as From the Ashes, if we can get out there, because we'll make sure we spend some time with the developers at Bethesda, as well as Intrepid Studios. So as long as that does not fall through, we will be out at PAX this year, PAX East. So that will be a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales of Tamriel. We will be back next week at our new record time, Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. I know that's early for some people, but it fits for both Ark and Nate. So if you enjoyed listening to those two amazing voices and not just my own, that's why we're here. So check us out, twitch.tv/DungeonCrawlerNetwork. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark, down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.